watching The Lookout, a production of the Department of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Interdisciplinary Studies here at Minot State University. I'm your host, Samuel Stinson. Now, this isn't a whine or a complaint, but the Minot Whiners and Complainers page is a Facebook group that's been in existence in its current form since 2014. If you live outside of North Dakota or have never heard of the group, think of this Facebook page, the Whiners page, as another community-focused page that talks more about a certain place, in this case, the city of Minot, North Dakota. These types of pages have become more popular in the past few years, but the Whiners page is something unique. Think one part Reddit and one part Jerry Springer, and you're probably not too far off. Members of the page will post local concerns or questions, oftentimes starting with the phrase, "This is not a whine or a complaint," but just before giving a whine or a complaint in many cases. Some of the humor on the site, and it is a very funny page, is found in people posting and triggering a certain response that demonstrates what we might call a need for additional self-awareness. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the page, but first, I'm going to share a couple of my favorite posts from the page from recent days. So here's one. This was a post that said, "Dear neighbor," so just to set this up, the page starts with somebody says, "I got this note on my door," and here's what the note says. "Dear neighbor, please take action in finding a solution to quiet your barking dog as it has become a public nuisance. We live out of town to maintain peace and quiet, which we don't get with your barking dog. I am no longer able to have my windows open or be outside without listening to your dog barking. Please figure out some way to make this stop. Everyone in the area would greatly benefit and appreciate. Thank you." And of course, the humor with this is found in the following fact that was given by the poster on the page. "I don't own a dog, so what are you talking about?" Again, maybe this was mislabeled. The second of these here on the screen is what somebody says they used one of these delivery apps, and this is what they were given. I think it was something to the effect of a double cheeseburger minus the burger, maybe? Anyway, I'm not exactly sure. A little context was necessary for this one. So here's a good post. This is this your dog, Minot, North Dakota? A German Shepherd, black, white, adult, 60 pounds. This dog has been seen in the area, will be safely captured soon. Please call this number if you think this is your dog. So this is a good service. It's used for the community. So posts like this are very helpful, not especially funny, but necessary as it gives local information for folks who are in need or in need of looking, or they have something that other people might have. And finally, the fourth of these, a message to the people that clearly stop first at the four-way stop, but wave on the next car out of fear. Next time, I want you to absolutely floor it into the intersection. I want you to show everyone who's boss. I want you to take back control of your life. Be reborn a new and confident human that goes first at a four-way stop and seizes the day. Okay, I found this funny. Again, we've gotten certain four-way stops that have appeared seemingly out of the blue in Minot, so this one kind of really hits home. So the admin of the Minot Whiners and Complainers page is somebody named Miranda Heisler. Miranda Heisler has been running the group along with several others since it was created back in 2014, so there's a little history to the group. I recently interviewed Miranda Heisler, who graciously answered some questions via Facebook Messenger. I asked the question, how did the Minot Whiners and Complainers page get started? Here's what Miranda Heisler wrote. "I created the page in December 2014. I noticed there were several people getting into arguments or complaining about things in the comments of city pages, news pages, and yard sale pages. Someone made a comment saying, 'Someone just needs to make a page for people to whine and complain.' And quite honestly, I was at home, ill, and was bored, so I did. I don't think it would get nearly the attention that it did, but when it did, I decided that I could use the group for so much more than whining and complaining. I decided that as long as I could help provide just as much good as the negativity that comes through, such as being able to clear up information, provide facts, promote new businesses and events, etc., then the group served a legitimate purpose." Seemingly so. I think that's a good point. So Minot Whiners and Complainers had its initial start about December 2014, and then a few things happened that Miranda Heisler is going to mention. I asked the question, how long has she been connected to the page? She mentioned, "I created it so since the beginning, Facebook algorithms and a community guidelines violation, unfortunately, caused the first group to be shut down in 2021, so there was a little bit of an interlude there. But within 12 hours, I had version 2.0 up and running. So while the page has been up since 2014, due to the slight interruption, the group was back in 2021. And again, the page is really popular. It When I first joined it, it started with about 22,000 members, and it's up to about 24,000 members. And this isn't bad because the surrounding city, when you live in a city with 40, 50, 60,000 people, it's nice to know that at least 50% of the total population of your city, that's how many people is reflected in the membership of the city page. It leads to vibrant, livelier discussions. I believe the group is popular for many reasons. The group is so much more than just whining and complaining. I feel it is important for people to have a place to voice their concerns and frustrations. Sometimes simply getting it off their chest is enough. Sometimes getting other people's perspectives on different situations can help change someone's mind. Sometimes we can provide more information and facts to help clear up any miscommunication that might have led to the frustration. And sometimes it is a great way for business owners to mend the bridge with an upset customer and hopefully be able to correct any issues within their business to help encourage customers to return and give them another chance. And this has been something that's shown up on the page time and time again. People will post, like with the burger concern, with the delivery concern, here's a problem that I ran into. Did anyone have this problem also? And it sometimes happens to be a funny thing that happened. She continues, I believe the group is also very popular because we provide so much help to the community, whether that is through donations to someone who may have lost a vehicle or home due to a tragedy, or simply making all the community connections that may be needed, such as in addiction services, housing services, food, pantries, etc. Another great importance to the community members is cleaning up or clearing up rumors and providing factual information, such as city information, or something as simple as helping with lost and found items, whether that be animals, mail, packages, or wallets. Finally, another very important reason the group is so popular is because citizens in our area want up-to-date information on what is going on in Minot or the surrounding community, whether that be information about an emergency, traffic updates, up-to-date news information that has not been put out in the community, and so forth. I then asked Miranda Heisler if she could give me her top 3 posts that she's seen recently, things that really jumped out to her as being interesting or humorous or fascinating in some degree. Again, with her perspective as an admin, I thought this would be an interesting question. So she wrote, this is a tough one as we average about 950 posts a month. When a huge fire took out, so this is the first one, when a huge fire took out a large apartment complex in town, it was amazing to see the way the community came together to help find shelter, lost pets, and provide donations to anyone and everyone who might be in need. I spent 2 full weeks collecting 1 to 3 loads of donations every day after work for the individuals in the fire. The community really came together and it was amazing to see. The second one. During the big DAPL pipeline protest, there was a post made with some complaints. There was a lot of information that came from both sides and a lot of links and historical information that was provided in the post that proved to be very interesting to read and to me personally. It provided a lot of information about treaties and tradition that I was not previously aware of. I saw many people go from one stance to listening to other people's points of view and ended up changing their perspectives on things after listening to both sides. I believe that kind of communication is important. And her third response. There was a post of complaint about a local sub shop in town. I watched so many in the community give raves for a particular manager at this location. This manager came onto the post herself, addressed the situation at hand, and apologized for the customer's poor experience. She then advised that if the customer would give her another chance, she would be sure to make it right. In the end, the customer with the complaint calmed down and even made a follow-up advising he had gone back and this manager had made everything right and he had a wonderful experience. I believe posts like these are especially important as sometimes business owners and managers do not realize there is an ongoing issue until they hear about it from a customer. It allows those businesses to make corrections and make things right with the customer and mend any upsets. It's not about bashing a business, it's about venting a frustration or concern, and sometimes it is great to see some business owners or managers come through like rock stars to make it right. So if you've never encountered the Minot Whiners or Complainers page, and you live in North Dakota or the city of Minot, I would encourage you to take a look. And I have to mention this, I've seen conversations crop up independently of anything I've said, among various faculty members, staff members, students of various schools. Somebody in Walmart mentioned, oh, by the way, did you see the Whiners page on this comment? So it's a place of community discussion and discourse. So again, it's one of those resources in the area that if you haven't encountered it before, it's definitely worth a look. Thanks again, and we'll be back. We're back. So this next story comes to us from Ars Technica, the website. And it's an article by Benj Edwards. And I'm sorry to have to report this, but Ward Christensen, BBS inventor and architect of our online age, dies at age 78. So if you don't know who this is, Ward Christensen was one of the early technical experts when it comes to establishing some of the technologies that went into bulletin board systems, which ultimately led to some of the technologies later that informed the World Wide Web and Internet at large. Ward Christensen, co-inventor of the Computer Bulletin Board System, BBS, has died at age 78 in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. He was found deceased at his home on Friday after friends requested a wellness check. Christensen, along with Randy Seuss, created the first BBS in Chicago in 1978, leading to an important cultural era of digital community building that presaged much of our online world today. In the 1980s and 90s, BBS has introduced many home computer users to multiplayer online gaming, message boards, and online community building in an era before the internet became widely available to people outside of science and the academy. It also gave rise to shareware, gaming scenes, and certain companies came out of this, like Epic Games. Friends and associates remember Christensen as humble, unassuming, a quiet innovator who never sought the spotlight for his groundbreaking work. Despite creating one of the foundational technologies of the digital age, Christensen maintained a low profile through his life, content with his long-standing career at IBM and showing no bitterness or sense of missed opportunity as the internet age dawned. Ward was the quietest, pleasantest, gentlest dude, said BBS The Documentary creator Jason Scott in a conversation with Ars Technica. Scott documented Christensen's work extensively in a 2002 interview for that project. So if you haven't seen that, by the way, check it out. It's the BBS The Documentary 2002 with the creator Jason Scott put it out on public so you can watch it for free. And again, he interviews a lot of these technical experts during this early period of BBSs and the internet. So it's well worth a look. There's many, many hours, I think about 10 hours worth of footage if you're interested in looking at this. Tech veteran Lauren Weinstein initially announced news of Christensen's passing on Sunday, and a close friend of Christensen's confirmed to ours that Christensen likely died at his house overnight between October 10th and October 11th. Prior to creating the first BBS, Christensen invented, get this, X modem in 1977. So X modem is a file transfer protocol used on the BBSs later for sending files, which eventually led to sending information via packets, and also several services were created later for this, Y modem, Z modem, and so forth. So this BBS system was created one time in Chicago because Seuss and Christensen, what had happened was they were home, they wanted to get to their computer club meeting, but they couldn't, so they were talking on the phone, and one of them said, you know what, we should have a way to transmit our discussion about the bulletin board that we have it, with the little push pins for our club. Wouldn't it be great if we had something like that in a technical way that we could use on the computer? So they put their heads together, they talked about it, and Scott continues on in the documentary. He says they finished the bulletin board in 2 weeks, but they called it 4 because they didn't want people to feel like it was rushed or made up. So they said, oh, yeah, it took 4. So Scott told Ars Technica. They canonically finished the project on February 16th, 1978, and later wrote about their achievement in a November 78 issue of Byte magazine. Their new system allowed personal computer owners with modems to dial up a dedicated machine and leave messages that others would see, again, like a bulletin board. The BBS concept represented a digital version of a push-pin bulletin board that might flank a grocery store entrance, town hall, or college dorm hallway. Christensen and Seuss openly shared the concept of the BBS, and others began writing their own BBS software. As these programs grew in complexity over time, the often hobbyist-run BBS systems that resulted allowed callers to transfer computer files, play games, as well as leave messages to others. Seuss also died in 2019, and with the passing of both of these BBS originators, we find ourselves at the symbolic end of an era, although many BBSs still run today. Although these are piped through the internet, you usually don't have a dial-up connection, but you have an internet connection to these. While Christensen himself was also humble about his role in creating the first BBS, his contributions to the field don't go unrecognized or unacknowledged. In 1992, Christensen received 2 Dvorak Awards, including a Lifetime Achievement Award for outstanding contributions to PC telecommunications. So if you'd like more about this story, check out the article on Ars Technica. We'll be back. We're back. So what happens to money that never gets claimed? There's been a recent move by states in the United States to establish agencies to deal with this problem of missing money. It's usually something addressed by each of the state's with respect to Treasury departments. But in North Dakota, the unclaimed property question is handled by what's called the Division of the Department of Trust Lands. If you're interested in this, and if you think that you might have a situation where you have money that was supposed to be given to you and it was somehow given to a Treasury department or another department of the state, here's what you can do. Here's how to find out if you have any missing money. So go to your favorite search engine or Google, whichever it may be. Type the name of your state, like North Dakota, plus the phrase unclaimed property. So I would say North Dakota unclaimed property. And this will take you to a website that lets you search your name to see if you have any missing money out there. Again, the states put this out. It's not individual corporations. It's not other companies. It's directly you and the state. Okay, so I was skeptical about this whole process. I decided to give it a try. In my adult life, I've worked in several jobs in several states, and I thought, well, maybe I might have some money somewhere. So I went through the states that I'd lived in, and I tried this state plus missing money or state plus unclaimed property. And it turned out, yeah, in one of the states I lived in, I never got my last paycheck for one of these jobs I had about 10, 12 years ago. So I contacted through the website, I put my information in and said, I'd like to claim this money. And sure enough, it came back. So I ended up getting a couple $100 this way that was owed to me, that was my money, I just never got. So anyway, if you're interested in doing this, take a few minutes, give it a try, because who knows? Maybe you'll have some money out there sitting, waiting for you to come get it. That's it for the Lookout podcast today. Thanks again for checking in with us. As always, be seen, be heard, and be verbs. Sorry, that's kind of a joke for my students. Take care, and we'll see you again.